when it's nothing to do. Never been capping, you know that it's true.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and there's no love lost between these AFC East foes. It's the Miami Dolphins and the New England Patriots, and it's coming up next on Madden NFL 24.
From the area known as Patriot Place, EA Sports set for football at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Today, a fun matchup in the AFC East, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis back with you. And Charles, for years, a trip to Foxborough quite often led to a loss for opposing teams. But the Patriots have been, in essence, a 500 team since the departure of TB12 3 years ago.
And things have switched because they are a defense-led team, and that's what's kept them in most games. Their key, can they get more explosive on offense and truly establish who their QB1 is?
Meanwhile, for the visiting Dolphins, we know about the weapons on offense on the perimeter. But you think this is a team, Charles, that needs to step it up defensively to go to the next level?
I do, and they have the pieces in place. They have excellent players. Perhaps the new system that's been brought in will give them that edge that they need in the AFC East.
And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. Now, Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from him, it absolutely occurred.
Now their 31-year-old running back, Raheem Mostert, and that play went nowhere. Losing yardage, it'll be back at the 36. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. He'll get this into the hands of Braxton Berrios. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. So Tua making the completion there. What's different about playing a left-handed quarterback like him? And specifically, I guess, what does this defense need to try and take away?
I'll take the first part that you asked about.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Matt Judon able to get him for a loss of about 3.
And Judon continues to be a home run signing by New England. Had a breakout 12.5 sacks his first year there. Up that number to 15.5 last season. Good for 4th in the NFL.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Anytime a ball thrown in the middle of the field is popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a first down as he stopped at the 48. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Patriots offense set to go to work with Mac Jones at quarterback in his 3rd season now out of Alabama.
It was a much rockier season for Jones in his 2nd year, and he even had to survive a brief challenge to his starting job. This is a big campaign for the former Rookie of the Year runner-up. He wants to get back to Pro Bowl form in this one.
Jones and the Pats now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. The drive starts with a carry by Stevenson. And a short pickup to about the 25.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Stevenson gets it again on 2nd down. And he'll take this up to the 30, a gain of 4.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to bring big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front, and the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Bourne going to go in motion left. He'll get it here on the jet sweep. It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 18 big yards on that one, and a New England 1st down. You were telling me this yesterday. That's exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation we were talking about with one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly, it's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Throwing, Jones. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between. They don't know which way you're going to come at them.
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. 26 yards for Ramondre Stevenson. And the Patriots get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turning to his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point by Ryland, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the field goal, Ryland back out as he'll send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. So Miami coming out for their 2nd drive. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. On play action, here's Tua. And he couldn't square up to throw there, and it falls incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That'll allow him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. Now Tua. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Waddle's first catch, good for a 1st down. Up the middle they go with Mostert. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Matt Judon. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Tua sets up to pass it. Over the middle, he gets it to Barrios. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn into big plays.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down.
And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like.
Possession back to the Patriots from Andre Stevenson, headed out with the offense.
They'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had, though, during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra?
There he goes, right side. Look at the big fella go. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Hunter Henry, 82 yards.
And the Patriots are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced to punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimal level.
Ryland on for the extra point.
And it's good to make it 14-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown.
Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Tua. Under pressure, they got him again.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Matt Judon, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings
brings up fourth down.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Here's Jones on the return. Oh, some strong running. Oh, I nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And this offense is going to be set up with a 1st and 10 inside the 15. Offense gets set to go, and there's Ramondre Stevenson. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Ball sits on the 10, 2nd and 5. From the gun, it's Stevenson. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. Here now, 3rd and a yard. On the counter, it's Stevenson. And the broken tackle helps lead to a 1st down gain. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a 1st down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. Stevenson, call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
And that's what I like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
And he keeps fighting his way into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Patriots take a 3-touchdown lead. CD, that's his 2nd touchdown already. And how about this offense? 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
An absolute total team effort right now. And let's face it, I don't think he's done. We're still in the first half. There's a lot of time left to go. I don't know what they're going to do on the other side trying to slow him down. But right now, he's feeling it.
Extra point by Ryland, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. Back out is the kicker, Ryland, and he'll send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw is taken in by Waddle. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Possession back to the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson headed out with the offense. Good returns on the last drive. He hit the end zone for the second time. Good returns in this first half, really.
Yeah, good returns for his team. Really good returns for the guy. You know where I'm
fantasy.
Going. Darn right. Those fantasy guys who have him on their team, they're rejoicing right now, and they have a high expectation that what they've seen already will continue.
You talk about fantasy a lot, but you don't. Why don't you just play? You don't.
I'm not good enough to play a fantasy game. I enjoy watching
You're an analyst.
You do it.
You're an expert.
I mean, you were a champ last year. Keep it up.
5th place.
Okay. Well, it's a champ in my book.
That is caught by Smith-Schuster. Touchdown! Juju Smith-Schuster, 30 yards. And the Patriots are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Now Ryland for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. So after the field goal, Ryland back out as he'll send this one away. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. The Dolphins taking over now late in this first half. Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get something on the board here before intermission, they'll have at least a little momentum heading into the second half. Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Tua now on first down. And the screen unsuccessfully dropped it.
He did a fine job there not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
He'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 40. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. He's going to air one out. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. on the left hash. Officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. Sanders' kick is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Well, the good news, at least they won't take that goose egg into the locker room. Maybe a little something to build on.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest of first halves for them, has it? But at least now, as you mentioned, they put some points on the board. And it's been funny in our experience watching games. Sometimes something as little as a field goal can change the fortunes of a team, and they could come out and look real sharp in the second half.
Fighting through the tackle at the 30. So we've reached halftime here at Gillette Stadium with the Patriots on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, back to you guys in just a moment. But welcome everyone to our Creative Village studios in the EA Sports Halftime Report. We saw a solid first half from the Oklahoma man, Ramondre Stevenson. He had a nose for the end zone as he wound up with 2 touchdowns on the ground in those first 2 quarters.
All right,
Final
Coach,
adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless,
here comes Montgomery now to return it.
And Charles.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. And the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
2nd and 10. Now Jones. Open man here, the tight end Henry. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A first down there on a pickup of 25. The partner's still in the third quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the fourth quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
On the handoff, Stevenson. And he'll take this down to the 33.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd and 6. Up the middle, here's Stevenson. 92 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On 1st and 10, Jones. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball and could not hang on. 2nd down coming up. Back to throw. Jones. And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. Kendrick Bourne from 21 yards away. And the Pats take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they've built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Extra point by Ryland, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Tagovailoa going to try and throw on third down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 8. Now Tua on the bootleg here. And that went to the right side and incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
From midfield, here's Tua. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Patriots. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. The Patriots ready to try again on offense. They've got the ball in a great spot here, already inside the red zone following that fumble recovery. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, Jones toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points? I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them total.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson from 17 yards out. And the Patriots are able to capitalize on the forced fumble by turning it into 6 points.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Extra point by Ryland, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter.
Dolphins 3. Chad Ryland to kick off for the Patriots.
Back out is the kicker Ryland, and he'll send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Christian Barmore in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And he's going to go down again. This is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to him.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now 3rd down and very long. Tua going to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Christian Barmore. That's now back-to-back sacks, and it brings up 4th down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. On the return is Jones. Fighting his way through contact. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Patriots will have great starting position as they take over 1st and 10. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
And he'll be taken down after a decent gain, and that will bring us to the end of this 3rd quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA. Back now in Foxborough. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On 3rd down, here's Stevenson. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. 120 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They think they get
touchdown, Patriots. Hunter Henry, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon, and the Patriots continue to pour it on here in the 4th. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
Extra point by Ryland, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Chad Ryland to kick off for the Patriots.
So after the field goal, Ryland back out as he'll send this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. But we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect 2nd half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the 2nd half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the 1st.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being...
Oh, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked up by Christian Gonzalez. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop them a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
It's always been funny to me, Brandon, when coaches always talk about on hot days like the one we have here. Well, it's hot for both teams. But when one team has the advantage, when one team is running the ball really well and closing things out.
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Patriots take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Ryland on for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was polished off by a Ramondre Stevenson touchdown run. Ryland now following the touchdown, back out to kick it away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Dolphins offense returning to the field. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he goes down. It's a Patriots sack. Christian Barmore able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailed by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return, and the Patriots take over. New England's offense set to go. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
167 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. Here now, 2nd and 4. Now a handoff, Stevenson. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
Now Jones from the gun on 3rd down. That is caught. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the 4th.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. Again, it's Elliott. And a short gain here, down to the 22.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll try and run for the first with Stevenson.
And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. But they pick up the first down there with a gain of 4.
As many games as the two of us do, I would hope that one day we'll be able to solve this riddle. Why is it on a hot day that one team has more trouble with the heat than another, and especially when you can't stop a guy running the ball?
You know it's September in the booth, though, when you and I have both removed our coats, and those were gone in the first quarter.
They were gone in the first quarter, and what we're watching now is a defense mentally giving in and sagging a little bit because they haven't been able to stop him.
They run with Stevenson.
And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15, a gain of 3.
Not a big run, not an explosive run, but they've held the ball for plenty of plays on this drive. They're just trying to impose their will on the defense right now.
An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one was over a long time ago.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Well, this game, it was well in hand early, never really in doubt. Charles, you and I do so many games together. There's so much parity in the NFL, a lot of close battles. This was not one. Tip your cap to them for a really impressive effort.
Yeah, and you know, as the game went on, I think the defense kind of got together and said, you see our guys on offense, they're just putting up point after point. We need to leave our mark somehow, too, and they did it, pitching a second-half shutout.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more